through the film or what it's all about and ins and outs?
Maybe, do you want to go through it and then I'll talk about it on my behalf?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 2 years ago, I was asked by the Essendon Football Club to work with the African Australian refugee community living here in Melbourne to help tell their story, and to tell a story in a way which intertwines football with it. Because I think in many ways, football as a way and sports as a way of integrating into the Australian way of life is a really important thing and a strong thing, and that was part of my life. And so straight away I was interested, for a couple of months, worked with the African refugees around the area, around Flemington and surrounding suburbs, and we developed a script, and together we shot it. We made it, with the support of a foundation called the Bill Hutchison Foundation, and part of a story really that we came up with is it's a story about 3 young African refugees who live in the Flemington flats, and they all fall in love with the same girl. The refugees also happen to be mad keen football fans and football players, and their coach is played by Andrew Welsh here in the film, in Andrew's, I suppose, big screen debut, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Andrew go from Windy Hill to the Hollywood Hills once the film comes out.
Is that good?
Yeah, I think Jean-Claude Van Damme has nothing on Andrew Welsh.
Welsh, you fancy yourself as a bit of an actor?
Oh, look, I suppose when the opportunity came up a couple of years back, at the time I was the ambassador for the multicultural program for the footy club. We've got the Andrew Welsh Auskick Centre down at the Flemington Commission unit, so probably all come together really well. And I had a little bit of interest in acting, but didn't know how I'd come up. But Khoa made me feel quite comfortable and got me through it, which was good. And I just think it's a great thing for the football club to be involved with something like this, because the power of the Essendon Football Club, the power of the brand of the AFL, has the ability to bring kids and communities from various different backgrounds around the world, all through, and their relationships through one common goal, and that goal with us is through AFL football. And I've spent a lot of time down there over the last 4 or 5 years now with the kids and watched them grow and develop, and the key factor and the key point between them all as they've grown up is that they've got this love for football that without the Essendon Football Club bringing that to them, they may not have had the opportunity to integrate with other kids the way that they have.
You used to running lines. What was it like remembering them?
I was actually okay. I didn't mess up too many times, but there was a few times that I had to say, just settle down a bit and you're doing well, but keep going. I didn't have a massive book of lines I was looked after, but I got the ones out that I need to.
What have your teammates had to say, Andrew, about your acting, or your foray into acting?
Well, to be honest, I was hoping that they weren't going to see it, and I was going to get away with no one really seeing it, especially the boys. But surprisingly, a few of them have got hold of the edit that's been put together, and they're actually a little bit supportive, which I'm a little bit surprised of, because that means something's coming for me. We have a fine system at the footy club, and it hasn't popped up yet, but I'm just waiting to see what they're going to muster up.
Was Angus Montfreed impressed?
If you were playing a footy coach, who were you channeling? A bit of Kevin Sheedy or James Byrne?
Oh yeah, well, with the Sheeds, I suppose there's a little bit of that. I didn't want to bamboozle the kids too much if I was taking too much out of Sheeds' book, but I was just trying to get my words out in the right way, and whichever coach I come across. I think we ended up winning the championships anyway. That doesn't go to screen, but I'll claim them.
Well, Magic Door obviously has come out as a bit of a leader now for the African community in regards to what he's done for the AFL. Was that something you sensed from the kids that you worked with, that they really look up to him?
Yeah, I think Magic at the time, he wasn't really on the AFL scene, and I remember going to one of the schools in Flemington, which a lot of the kids that were doing my Auskick Centre went to, and they said, can you come and pick us up from school next week, and then we'll walk down to football training together. So I went down and went to Flemington, the Flemington Primary School, and waited there just in casual clothes for the kids, and probably had about 20 kids come over and walked them down to the clinic, and we went through the clinic as we did most weeks, and then the little girl, she's about 6, comes, she goes, Andrew Welsh. I said, yeah, here you go. She goes, next week can you pick us up from school again, but you have to wear your Essendon outfit. So then we'll have lots more kids and we'll have more fun, and then everyone knows that I'm your friend. I said, all right, no worries. So rocked up the next week, Essendon gear on, and we had about 100 kids come down that night for training. We had a massive sausage sizzle, and I think that just shows the power of the football club that it has of bringing people together, and especially in that community who look up to football as a new sport and something that they can aspire to.
You said you had an interest in acting beforehand. What about now? Are you more interested in it? Is it something you genuinely think could provide life after footy, or is it more going to be situated with the footy show season review?
Yeah, well, the footy show season review, you get set up a little bit for, but I've done acting courses. Acting and that sort of stuff isn't probably something that you associate with football clubs because it gets beaten out of you pretty quickly by your peers, but I enjoy it. It puts you out in a limb, a little bit of a different pressure, and I don't think I'm going to be going to Hollywood or anything, but for the meantime it's fun, and that's what this movie was. It was a bit of fun, but it had a real meaning and real purpose that I could get involved with, which was really rewarding.
Brownlow or Oscar?
No, well, I'm a long way off of Brownlow, so I might go for what's an Australian one, a Logie.
A Logie.
Try and get a Logie for worst actor or something.
Maybe an Aussie competition with you and Shane Crawford.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that could work.
When did you actually film this? Like, obviously you've had a few injuries over the last little while. Is that something that sort of fitted in while you were doing?
We filmed it about 18 months.
Yeah, about 18 months ago, so it's a little while ago, and it was very tricky just fitting our filming schedule around Andrew's training schedule as well. I mean, that was was quite tricky, but in the end, kind of all worked out. And I've got some friends who work on Home and Away, and they saw some clips of Andrew, and they're very impressed.
There we go. Where do I sign?
The other actors, do you actually get them from Flemington, or were they actual proper actors that you came from?
No. The rest of our cast are generally first-time cast and mainly refugees from all around the area. Some were from Flemington, some from Ascot Vale, some live in the flats in Carlton, North Melbourne, and so all around Melbourne, really.
Where do you go with the film after the international flight? Are you looking at maybe Carlton, or where do you go from here?
Yeah, we'll hit the International Film Festival circuit. That depends on Andrew's schedule.
Have you seen
Cairns?
Yeah,
Cairns.
If you
When's that?
Yeah, that's May next year.
Have you seen the Entourage episode of Carlton?
Sorry?
Entourage episode where they go to Carlton. Have you seen that?
Yeah, unfortunately this film's a little bit different from, but I wouldn't mind going there, but I might have to be paying my own way if I do get there. But
yeah,
nice.
we'll give it a go.
Yeah. Whatever he says, I'm on board. I'll go wherever.
Just looking ahead to this weekend, Andrew, it's a huge game. Will Joe play, do you think?
Yeah, look, Job's trained really well, and we've still got 2 pretty solid sessions ahead of Sunday's game. We've had the advantage of getting a fair bit of training in this week, so fingers crossed that he'll be right to play, because it's a crucial game for us. We need to win most games now before the end of the season to put us in for the finals.
We saw the first coach go yesterday, Neil Craig, your assistant here, or one of the assistants here, Simon Goodwin's been touted as a possible candidate. How do you think he'd go in a senior role?
Well, I personally think he'll be fantastic. From a selfish point of view, I think for myself, I'd love to see him stay here because he's brought so much to the group, not just on the training track, but the way that he prepares for games on the coaching side. He translates that to the older players, because when you've been around a while, you can probably get a little bit comfortable in the way. So he's just refreshed that. He's very professional in his approach. I think he could step straight into a senior coaching role any day.
After just less than a year.
Yeah. I think so. I think to be a coach, you've got to be a people's person, be able to relate to players, and because you've got 45 guys on your list, a variety of ages, and he's one that can do that, and he's got that real professional tactical edge that we've seen come through, and it's probably one of the major reasons why our midfield has improved the way it's have, especially in the defensive part of our game.
Andrew Lovett, who obviously played with him and had seen his trials and tribulations like this at distance, would you like to see him get back into senior footy?
I'd love to see Andrew have the opportunity of playing AFL football again. It was an unfortunate situation for everyone involved, but he's been found not guilty now. He's 28. He's one of the most skillful players that I think I've played with, and I'd love to see him have the opportunity to get back out on the footy field, because I think he's still got a lot to give to the game.
You mentioned this weekend. How crucial is it? I mean, you briefly touched on it, but is it do or die?
Oh, look, we played Carlton, who a top team. We've got Collingwood. We play Sydney and Western Bulldogs. We've got a pretty tough run home, and to go into any of those games and drop them, it makes it tough for us to make the finals. We had a lean 5 weeks through the middle of the year where we didn't win a game, and we put ourselves in that situation. First half against Carlton was really competitive and some promising signs, but we were let down in the third quarter in particular, which cost us the game. But this week we'll definitely be going out to look to win, and it's going to be a tough challenge, but hopefully we get a couple of players back to help out.
So it is winnable from your perspective?
Oh, you're crazy if you go into a game without thinking it's winnable. We played really well against them at the start of the year when we were playing a similar brand of football that we've got back to in recent weeks. People probably didn't give us a chance against Geelong a few weeks back, and we got up in that game. So we're going into it knowing that if we play our best footy, that we're going to be competitive, and that will hopefully be enough to get us over the line.
And I think he's the league's oldest player, but he's probably one of your most effective flex. You missed him in the second half last week. Didn't he have a chance to come back this weekend?
Yeah, I hope so. It was a bit of a strange injury with Fletcher's come up the day before the game, but he's been doing all the recovery since then. And if anyone's going to get up to play, I think it would be Dustin. He's been doing everything in recovery to get himself back, and he's so crucial down in our defensive unit with helping out a lot of the young, tall defenders who probably at times can get a little bit lost because it gets pretty hot in the kitchen down there when the ball's flying in, and he just gives that balance and the settle for those younger guys. So fingers crossed he'll be back as well.
And how's Jake Carlisle taking his new role as Andrew Walker's step player?
Oh no, look, he's pretty happy. He's going to be on a footy card next year, so he's pretty proud about that. It's one to put on the wall. And I said, mate, look, don't worry about it. And unfortunately, I've been underneath a couple of guys sitting on my shoulders, but he actually played a really good game, so it's probably taken a little bit away from that. And he's got a footy card to put up on his wall when he's show the grandkids. Unfortunately, he's underneath the bloke and not on top of him.
I know you've obviously got development goals, Andrew, but in a sense, from a top 8 perspective, the season's probably on the line to extend this weekend with St Kilda pushing up. Is that a fair statement?
Well, there's a logjam of probably 4 or 5 teams now that are sort of vying for that bottom part of the 8. A lot of teams, I think it's going to come down to whoever's got the best fit list over the next few weeks, because we've unfortunately had a bit of a hit with injuries of late, but we're starting to get guys back now, and that's what you need this time of year, is a strong list of players to pick from who are putting pressure on and got that match fitness throughout the year.
Andrew, just going back slightly to the, I guess partly to the film, you spoke about building that community feeling with a lot of these kind of African or other immigrant communities. Does it make it difficult when you're not playing games here? I mean, is it harder to kind of build that community feeling when they might have to go to the G or Docklands or places like that? No,
I don't think so. I think if you see the young kids' eyes when they walk into the MCG, when there's 60, 70,000 people watching a game of football, and the excitement that brings to these kids is phenomenal. And I don't think without the programs and this movie that these kids would have had the opportunity to do that, because the football club would take them there, they'll take them out for the day, they'll bring them up here, show them through the Hall of Fame, take them to an AFL game, experience all that sort of stuff, which, without the football club, they may have never had the opportunity to do. So I don't think not playing games here hurts that at all.
Just to further to that, though, the actual move of training base, the impending move in the next couple of years, taking you out of Essendon, will that hurt at all?
Oh, I don't think so. If not, it'll probably give this football precinct more of an opportunity to really strengthen those ties with the community by opening it up to the local cricket clubs, the local football clubs, various different community associations that the football club has. I think, if anything, it will strengthen it. And the training base out there is going to be first class for our football team, but we're also going to have a lot of impact with what goes on back here as well.
What's the character's name?
Character's name's Andrew. Coach.
Yeah. And the film, which is called Falling for Sahara, there are still tickets available and on sale for the Melbourne Film Festival next week. So just go onto mif.com.au and people can come and check out Andrew's debut performance in a feature film.
What was the website?
mif.com.au.